Hey friends, I'm on my patio and I'm compelled to share a message today because I found out about 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, that Dick Johnson, NBC 5 Chicago anchor, reporter, DePaul University graduate, and my good friend, died today in Michigan. He apparently had some respiratory issues and left Chicago. It has nothing to do with COVID apparently, but left Chicago to get away from a lot of people. If you got respiratory problems with what's going on, that makes sense, and was recovering up there. And he passed away this morning in a hospital. And I think about Dick a couple of times a week at least. And I just wanted to share a little story, and I think there's some good in this for everybody. When I got my first TV job, I had no right having that job. I was 23 years old. I was green. I had come from radio. I had no television training. And somehow I found myself anchoring the news on Channel 59 in Indianapolis, which had just gone on the air. And, things were coasting along. And as you do when you're 23, you think that, everything's, you don't really think about things ever going haywire. But after about 6 months, the station realized they couldn't make money doing news, and they told most of us that we were gone. And it was a very friendly parting. They took very good care of us, and it was, actually, there were tears all around. But I was completely clueless as to what I was going to do because I had not saved a whit of tape, so I did not have any evidence that I'd done this show. I'd been on television maybe 5 months. We had to wait a month to sign on because there was a freeze and they couldn't get the transmitter in the ground, the tower. And so I just didn't know what I was going to do. My presumption was I'd go back into radio because I wasn't very old, I wasn't very good, and I didn't have much experience. But Dick Johnson was a graduate of DePaul, and Dick was 6 years older than I. And there was always the legend of Dick Johnson when I was in college. And I had never met Dick. I'd never talked to Dick. I'd only known about him as this guy who went on to do great things. And at that point, he had just gotten back to Chicago. He'd started his career in Indianapolis. He'd gone to Dallas, and I'll tell you something about that in a minute. And then he'd come back to Chicago. And I, out of the blue, biting my lip, I'm sure my voice was quivering, 23-year-old me called Dick Johnson at Channel 7 in Chicago, and he was there at the time, and he took my call, and he is and remained the nicest person in the world. And he listened to me. He said, "Yeah, Ken, send your tape. I'll take a look at it." And I said, "Listen, Dick, if I'm not any good, if you think I got to do something else, please let me know because I'm prepared to, go sell shoes or be a stockbroker like my dad." And he got my tape. He called me back. He said, "Ken, you're on the right track." And it meant so much to me that he took the time, that he did it kindly, and he's remained a friend throughout my life. That was 36 years ago, and probably right around this time, 36 years ago, I reached out to him, and we remained in touch. DePaul was a connector for us, and I tell students all the time, no matter where I go, Purdue, University of Indianapolis, I was down at IU. Contacts and relationships are what make our lives so rich. And most people are inherently nice. And Dick Johnson was a prince of a man. And I cannot begin to tell you the many, 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 many people he touched. He was back at DePaul all the time lecturing the media fellows. He'd spend a week on campus. We'd have dinner. He loved DePaul, and he loved to share. And he loved to share his joy of the profession of journalism and the gifts that he'd been given in life. And he was, the great thing about Dick, and here's the story I wanted to tell, and I may be getting this a little bit wrong, but I think I got it right. Dick was working in Dallas and was on Air Force Two with George H.W. Bush, the vice president, when news came that Ronald Reagan had been subject to an assassination attempt. And as Dick told it, his crew, his photographer, had not stowed the camera. Most reporters, when they get on planes, they're either instructed to or just do, as a matter of course, stow the camera somewhere. And they had it on their person, and so they got, essentially what was the first response from George H.W. Bush with the prospect that, the plane may land and he could be president. I mean, it was one of those moments in American history. And Dick parlayed that moment, and he had many, many talents, so he was going to go there anyway, into his long, long time at Chicago and the things he did there. He was a kind guy. As I was shaving, because I didn't want to go on and pay tribute to somebody I love and look like a mongrel, I got 2 texts from very young DePauw grads. Robert Sherman, who's probably been out 3 years. Robert, if I'm wrong, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 2. But he's at Fox News, like the network, and he's going to go big places in broadcasting. But he'd been in touch with Dick, and they were supposed to get together, and he's devastated. Here's a guy in his 20s who Dick Johnson has helped and brought into the broadcasting business. And Emily Kaufman, who's a producer at Wish here in Indianapolis, who I've tried to help, but again, Dick was there for her. And I would tell young people all the time, call me. I want to help you. But people like Dick taught me the value of being there for other people. And Dick was completely unpretentious for a guy that knew the most important people in the world and was an anchor on Chicago television. He had no pretense whatsoever and loved people, always had a smile, always looked you in the eye. And I'm going to cry when I get off this thing, but I just wanted to do this because Lauren, his DePauw sweetheart, we love you, and Dick was a wonderful father and grandfather, and I just want to let it be known that I probably had a broadcast career because Dick Johnson took the time to pick up my phone call, and not only pick up my phone call, but to be as kind as he could be, and it was a kindness that never wavered in the many, many years I knew him. So God bless you, Dick. Thank you for being a friend. And I hope you can be an inspiration to all of us to be the best people we can be, because that's why we're here on planet Earth. Take care, friends.